Okay. When I say go, we'll start. I'll keep my own timer running in the background just for the sake of doing so. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So like every Dragon Quest game, this game has a silent protagonist who is named. You can put in the name and it'll show up everywhere. Only difference between this game and every other Dragon Quest game is instead of killing slimes as your first enemy, you play as a slime for the entire game. And this game is adorable and full of wonderful puns. Real quick, I'm going to attempt a glitch here to try and save about 5 seconds on the first minigame, and I didn't get it. It is frame perfect and very difficult. So the minigame here is I have to beat my friend's record of clearing these leaves in 60 seconds. Usually it can be done in about 5. Seven seconds is not great, but I can deal with it. And my reward for this silly little minigame is my friend will give me the Flute of the Warrior that he stole from the castle in our hometown here, which we will immediately proceed to blow, and that was a terrible idea because this is a holy artifact. The final boss, a level 1 hero. No, the final boss is the devil. Spoiler warning. So this is Big Daddy. He's our dad. Now, in the process of blowing the flute, we seem to have aggroed a bunch of enemies all of a sudden. And our castle town is under attack. So these little platypunks, as they're called, platypus with tails and anthropomorphic features, they're part of the Plob, or the Platypunk Mob. It's a band of ne'er-do-wells who also happen to own a gigantic 50-foot tall tank. You'll be seeing a lot of these gigantic 50-foot tall structures because they're integral to this game. So, because they're looking for the warrior flute, they're going to proceed to basically do away with everything in their way. And just kind of blow the town to smithereens, kidnapping every resident. I love this live face. Shout out to Tonic. Good old Dragon Quest old boy. So they kidnap all the residents and trap them in treasure chests. 100 of them in total, actually. But not us, because they think that we're some kind of worm or giant baseball bat. Now the category of this game that I'll be doing is any percent or 50 slime, because there's a 50 slime requirement to get a necessary plot upgrade. And what I mean by a slime is this. Every one of these chests has one slime resident in it. And we have to basically get everyone back to our town. I need to be careful because the button to throw things is the same button as I use to mash, as I tend to throw things a lot. Alright. So now he's going back to town, and that is one slime saved. Only 49 more necessary ones to go. Technically, we will save probably closer to 60, but the 50 requirement is integral to this category. There isn't a 100 slime category where you save all the slimes, which is about an hour longer and features a lot more unnecessary side stuff. This is how you unlock the credits for the game, unfortunately, so if you're hardcore into, you know, you must see the credits, that would be the any percent, but for this category we're just gonna basically beat the game, beat the final boss, etc. So you might be wondering, how does a little teardrop slime move around? And the most effective means of movement is what is called an elastoblast, which is also our main form of attack. The elastoblast is the thing where you see me stretch my body and just kind of roll around. So much of this game involves collection. Collecting slime, sending them back to town, but there's also a bunch of resources that we'll be collecting as well. And these will prove very useful for a later mechanic. These guys are going to seal off the north entrance here. We're not going to be able to access that till tomorrow. Real quick on versions, this game has a Japanese and North American version. The most notable difference between the two, in general, is the sound effects are very different. But the North American version is very slightly harder, so it is slightly slower, but I prefer to use it for marathon runs, just because, you know, having the ability to read the text is nice. So, we've saved our third slime, the mother of the church. If you're familiar with Dragon Quest, churches are where you go to save, so after saving her, we'll unlock the ability to save the game. Another nice little optimization with this game is every time you have something on your head as you get sent back to town, or enter a cutscene, it'll automatically send back to town. So those treasure chests that I picked up will automatically go back to town. Those will be useful later. I love the animations in this game. So each of these iron balls has has a number on it, and one slime can move 1 ton, basically. So that you see right here, this iron ball has 3 slime tons listed on it, which means that I need to save 3 slimes to get it. There is one particular iron ball with 50 slime tons that we need to move. All the rest in town are basically optional. Alright, back to adventure. There's all kinds of references to various other things in this series. This game is chock full of Dragon Quest VIII references, as well as Dragon Quest Monster references, so if you're familiar with either of those games, you'll hear a few similar sound effects, similar compositions musically, and just all sorts of little references.
Can I read a quick donation?
Yes, absolutely.
Alright. Garnitrix donated $10. It says, "Good job being so lucky there. You ruined everything." He had some plans for his donation before, but Darren got everything first try, so he couldn't.
Nice. I made a little mistake here. I needed to throw the treasure chest earlier. I'm actually keeping this slime on my head for a little bit longer. Because there's a point at which we'll unlock a railway later. So these are rock bombs. Their function is they work similar to bombs. If you throw them at any rocks, the rocks will explode. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll actually be trying to collect a few of these early on in the game because they're actually extremely useful. Enemies are not useful. I try and get rid of them as soon as I can, as often as I can. Taking this part slow because I don't want to accidentally break up the cart. Ooh, I'll take that. Every time you kill an enemy, there's a random chance that the enemy will drop a bag like that, and sometimes it can have really useful stuff. I don't get them very often, but since I happen to get that one, I might as well. Alright, so we're gonna head off to the first boss here after saving our 7th slime of the area. Or 6th. A lot of the ratting in this game is just getting the 50 quickest slimes, because there's some that you get automatically. Anyway, this is, I forget his name, but he's the easiest boss in the game. You just have to slap your face into his face a few times. Boff beater, I guess. Not really sure how you pronounce that word. Anyway, once you're done with this first phase, he gets a little bit meaner and actually starts putting up a fight, but he's still free. Easy boss. Easy game, easy life. So, I don't know how the king fits in that chest, but we just saved the king. Yeah, we almost got the quick kill. It's a pretty tight quick kill. So now we gotta run away from a giant 50-foot tall tank. And the king's back goes out, so we need to carry him. So, while you can move around normally, elastoblasting like this is actually the fastest form of movement. Mainly a Pokemon Snap and Minish Cap runner by the name of Quo also did a little bit of task work in this game and found that the optimal time to hold the dash for is about 53 frames. I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Slimes have backs. It's more like they have bones. Oh god, I didn't see that one there. Alright. That was terrible. I know, it's... Pom-pom... Okay, so what was in the bag was a pom-pom. Pom-poms are completely useless. Not completely useless for casual play, but for speedruns they're worthless. So the king is telling me of the next area that we'll be going to, which is the Tomb of Tutenschleimen. Dressed like a Moogle there, I don't know. So as opposed to conventional level ups or anything of that sort, in this game, whenever you find an Yggdrasil seed, it will increase your max health by 1. The king gives us 3. We actually don't want to get these because the cutscene that plays every time we get one is time consuming, and we don't have to worry too much about our health in this game. So this cannon destroys the sand dune to let me progress. A lot of this game's route is around just tight optimizations and moving at precisely the correct point when you need to. So, get this obelisk here. That was unfortunate. I was trying to keep this guy on my head, and then we're going to take another obelisk here. Obelisk will be a useful item in not too long. Now, as soon as I enter these cutscenes, all 3 things on my head will be sent back to town. This guy's name is Sid. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy, yes, it is spelled the same way. I love that sound effect, it's so dumb. I'm gonna carry this bullet all the way over to that cannon. Just kind of want to avoid hitting enemies along the way if I can help it, mainly because it generates a little bit of lag every time I make a collision. So before I move this cannon, I need to clear up some rocks, and there's a little bit of a shortcut here. Wants me to clear it all the way to the end, but I don't actually have to do that because I can line up the angle correctly. Oops, that was a mistake. Alright, now we have a cannon to free Sid. I love the little red slime just chilling on my head. So as thanks for freeing him, Sid here repairs our warrior flute, which broke as soon as we were thrown at the beginning of the game. Of course, blowing the flute causes us to get something new, and it is not an airship actually, but it is the next best thing. Voila! Now we get our own 50-foot tall tank. Mama. So immediately upon this happening, Sid gets himself fired from the plob. So with nowhere to go, he asks to be our helper and turn over a new leaf. Also, he reveals that he actually speaks with a German accent. I don't know why they do this. So, welcome to the Simon Tank, which is where the majority of the actual, real combat in this game takes place. This is sort of this game's main beloved mechanic. As you'll see on the top screen, there's a giant boulder that I need to get rid of. It has 50 hit points, my tank has 100. Now, pretty soon we'll be getting into actual fights against other tanks. And this is where kind of the meat of this game really takes place, and where most of the collection aspect really comes in handy. As I'm trying to collect resources to better my tank as much as I can without wasting too much time. So right here, I have two possible pieces of ammo that can spawn in my tank, rocks and bombshells. Rocks only do 3 damage, bombshells do 8, so I want as many bombshells as I can get, and this is so far pretty favorable. I believe I'm just short of the kill by 3 damage. Oh, I got the kill. Oh well. Alright, now I'm gonna try for a little... Yep, I got the zip. Nice. It's just a little graphical glitch where you just kind of zip off the screen there. Alright. That was a very good fight. I mean, it's just the tutorial for how tanks work. So to kind of give a little bit more of a broad analysis of tank battles. You have 6 ammo slots, which will generate ammo from your inventory, which is up to 30 slots of inventory. And you have 2 cannons that you can fire out of, the straight cannon and the vertical cannon, or in the North American version, the upper and lower cannon. The upper and lower cannons have different arcs, and ammo that you throw will intersect ammo that they throw out of certain cannons. Unless it's really close, in which case it will intersect any ammo. There's all sorts of little mechanics to it that I won't really get too into, partly because of the way certain speed strats work. The one thing to keep in mind is that ammo will hit your opponent's tank slightly faster if you throw it out of the lower cannon. So this fight's pretty random. This is one of the few that we're actually going to fight sort of as intended. Because pretty soon we get into some AI cheese strats that ultimately are... They make up most of the route of the game. Now in this fight, the opponent will always fire out of the top cannon, so I always want to fire out of the lower cannon to minimize the risk of hitting any piece of his ammo. Because my health really doesn't matter. Now at this point, I'm basically just waiting for my ammo to connect, because once you lower an enemy's tank health to 0, rather than it immediately dying, what ends up happening is I have to make a charge for the enemy engine. And to do that, I have to enter the tank, go to the back room, break all the barriers, and then hit their engine with one Elastoblast. Now, ideally, he would have a rock bomb spawn somewhere. There it is. Yeah, thanks for the good luck, Highwinds. Rock bombs will just penetrate through the barriers and just completely shatter them. So it saves me a second or so to grab that. Alright, good first fight.
Can I go over another donation?
Absolutely. I'm just going to be adjusting my ammo and going through some letters that every slime that I have saved has given me. So this will just be some menuing. So you can follow along and listen to Casio.
Alright, Tiny Tim donated $13, and it says, "Hi all, had to donate for a great cause and also for the amazing GhostKumo. May the slime be with you. Cheers."
Yo, Tiny Tim. He's been a supporter of mine for quite some time. I'm always happy to hear anytime he donates. Thank you, my friend.
Reminder that you can direct your donations to any of our incentives. I'll be sure to use the comment in the chat so you guys can see it. And yeah, just tell me in the chat that I'm gonna try to put your donation to the right incentive.
So, what I did there was I finally adjusted my ammo so that I have stuff that's better than just rocks and boulders. Every slime that you save in this game gives you a letter. And within each letter is a goodie or a later on a recipe for when we get to alchemy. This is how we make use of our treasure chests. They will be alchemized into shurikens, which are a really fast flying, relatively high damage item. All the slimes that I selected have items that are useful for at this point of the game. Although, a lot of the times, ammo gets pretty outclassed. So these idiots here, Babbo and Wise Guy, decide to let us access the north area of this region. The reason we couldn't before is because up here there is certain tank battles. With every tank battle in this game, every optional one and every required one, pretty much, the first time you beat it, you will save a slime. We want to actually minimize tank battles, however, because they are very time-consuming. On this area here, I will be saving 3 slimes because in the normal route, plus one of the few glitches and skips that we have in the run, you can only save about 47 without getting any extra tank battles. So these additional 3 will enable us to have 50 at exactly the point of the game that we need to have 50. Whoops. This guy didn't go anywhere near where I wanted him to. I need to be careful I don't accidentally hit the cart. It was a bit of an unfortunate time loss there. I kind of was just hoping I would... The game's kind of like auto lock-on system would work. Alright. Dang. It's kind of unlucky. Alright, so that's the 3 slimes down. Okay. So that was just a bit of optional stuff to guarantee that I'm on my slime route. So having 14 slimes right now is perfect. If I had any less, I'd be concerned. Oops. I realized I made a slight error with my route here. I was supposed to do this a little bit sooner. Or, I wasn't supposed to do this sooner. Because now I have an extra open club and an extra rock bomb. So I'm completely gone with boulders. Alright, back to adventure. So the next area we're going to head to is Tumo Tutenschleimen. And this time this area is going to be a little bit more dangerous because there's going to be a cacti ball, which is a living cactus basically, kind of roaming around the place causing mischief. I'm not completely sure if it's fastest to jump in the cannon, but the animation is too adorable not to show off. I like how the treads just completely, of the Schleimen tank, just completely ignored this slime here. So I'm gonna grab this bullet on the way, just because it's gonna be useful in a second. One thing you'll notice is enemies on the overworld try to attack me, and it doesn't really amount to much, but they give their best try. Later on in the game, there are some enemies that can do some damage, but there's only a couple of instances where I'm actually in danger of dying on the overworld. The risky parts actually happen in the tank battles. Actually don't need any more rock bombs, so this one's kind of a waste. Alright. So this tank fight introduces us to a new idea, which is crew members. We don't get those ourselves until after this area, and it is exceedingly annoying because it means that there are now more slots that they can fire ammo out of. Getting an open club to start with is actually really good luck, because these do 16 damage, which is over a quarter of this guy's health. That's unfortunate. Everything they're firing is coming out of the lower cannon. That's unfortunate. Wow, that is some dog dookie luck. So this actually works out a little bit in my favor. The enemy's leader has kind of come into my tank, which is useful to me because he will not be firing ammo. So I'm going to deliberately avoid knocking him into a cannon or killing him because he's more useful to me. He's more useful in my tank to me than he is in his own. Alright, this'll kill, and this time I actually have free reign to wander around. I think that's a rock bomb, which is what I want to see. Probably didn't need to actually go for the rock bomb, so that was suboptimal play right there. I need to get this guy off of my head, because if you hold on to an enemy for too long, they kind of get irritated and just break free. And that is the second tank battle. As you can see, it's very annoying dealing with the enemy's AI in this game, so after this area, all of our tank fights are going to involve AI manipulation in order to basically limit the amount of ammo that they fire at me. Quick note, I love the water rolling animation in this game. It is the fastest way to move. There's not a lot of waterways, though, to actually use it. So I gotta wait for this cannon here. As you can see, there's a lot of routing that goes into having the right item at the right time. In this case, having a bullet exactly when I need to. So I wait for that destruction sound effect to happen in the background before I activate this shortcut here. I pressed the button just a second too late. So now this guy attacks me and forces me into a tank fight. And this will be the last one for this day. This is the reason why we set the shortcut instead of proceeding, because the game will not let the day progress after this fight. So this tank's gimmick is the leader is the first of the bunch in this game to prioritize invasion. Even in a speedrun setting, though, this game is still pretty volatile when it comes to RNG because you have to worry about every piece of ammo that you could get, every piece of ammo that you actually do end up getting. Like, when you get it, like, there's a whole bunch of things that kind of come into play in this game, and most of the strats involve trying to increase the odds rather than like finding a sure thing, especially in tank fights. That should be enough damage to get the kill. So I'm always keeping an eye on the top screen to see which ammo is still in play. And I have basically all the damage values memorized, so I need to know exactly when to go in. Alright, so this was a pretty effective day. I believe I'll be saving a little bit of time on this one compared to my PB. So, the slime we save here is Slimeborg. And if you have played this game before, you know, Slimeborg's function is that he allows us to upgrade our tank's hit points. So no longer are we limited to just 100 hit points. Slimeborg. Slime Mechanic, that's his name. We're not going to do any of that, because that is slow and actually detrimental to the run. So we're making our final trek to the tomb of Tutenschleimen. We won't be coming back here anymore after this, so if you got sick of this place, don't worry about it. So this is why we set this shortcut the previous day.
Can I put some incentives now?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Alright. Guys, there's a Chocobo Racing incentive coming up. It's to play an extra Final Fantasy VIII track. It's $30. Currently, it hadn't got any donations, but it's a pretty small amount, so I think we can do it.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
run's gonna happen in about 3 hours, so we have a lot of time still.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
also
FF8 is my favorite soundtrack of all time, so I'm definitely rooting for that incentive. Made a
nice.
slight mistake there throwing the slimes. I actually don't need to throw them because there's a boss fight coming up soon.
Okay, there's also an incentive for streamers to be played another time after the run ends as Super Joe mode. It's also $30. And there's also a bid war for the character in Mario Kart 64 between Peach, Toad, and Yoshi. I also want to bring up that there's a prize for that anybody who donates $10 or more or cheers 1,000 bits or more will be eligible to win. The prize is $100 gift card on Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, or Steam. The choice being made by the winner. And I just want to remind you guys that we're doing this event to try and bring Ohon, Beko, and Priestley to play in the Mega Man Relay, Mega Man 406 Relay that's gonna happen in AGDQ 2020 next year. Alright, thank you for your time.
So, to kind of change direction a little bit, this fight's difference is pretty significant. This is the first fight that deals with AI manipulation, specifically the fact that enemy AI in this game will not fire at you if you have 0 hit points. Actually, I'm going to be employing a slightly different strat. That's going to be what we're going to do later, but I'm actually employing a fairly different strat for this one. Usually they're able to kill me, but in this case what I'm doing is deliberately having all of the enemy crew in my tank so that they're not in the enemy tank. Now, ideally, none of this ammo ever gets intercepted, and I'm able to do about 130 damage with those 3 iron balls. So this is the point where enemy ammo starts to actually be significantly better than what I have. So the actual best thing to do is to just fire their ammo. Please don't. You jerk. Okay, so one of them made it, which is... Nope, none of it made it. Actual garbage. Oh no. Ah, never lucky. You kind of have to get lucky with this strat. It's the most, this is the most volatile fight of the entire run, because this game, normally when your HP hits 0, which we're not at yet, but it will get to eventually, the enemy stops firing at you. This fight is the only exception in the entire run. The other problem is these iron balls fire very slowly. Come on. Piece of garbage, dude. Alright, we'll get through this fight one way or another if I have to power through it. So, I do need to be careful because my HP is at 0. I don't want to let enemies into my engine room, because they can just outright kill me at that point. You buzz off, you stupid cactus. Alright. Give you an idea of how bad this fight goes. My PB's far from optimized, but it can lead to a variance of about 3 minutes. Like, this might actually be more than that. This is probably the worst fight of this I've had in quite some time since I came back to running this game. Alright, I need to get him out of my engine room, because if I were to die on this fight, it would be really shameful. Alright, well, this stinks. So it's slightly faster to keep chucking things at the barriers than it is to just blast into them. There we go. I'm actually losing time on a fight that I probably should save time on, but I was just kind of opting for less volatile instead of just continually trying to invade and hoping that the iron balls connect. So, this guy here with the horn and hat, his name is Slivel. He is the slime rival. He's kind of a jerk. Nobody likes him. Alright, so now we finally saved our two friends. We just have to save our sister and our parents at this point. Yeah, he's pretty edgy. So our next area that we have to go to is Mount Krakatoa. Just like Mount Krakatoa, except named for King Trode of Dragon Quest VIII. This area is unique in the run because it is the only area that has no, forgetting my menu there. It has no tank battles in the route anymore. It used to have one, which, if you're familiar with this game, you might think, isn't that fight required? And the answer is yes and no. And there's a bit of a fun little story to tell on this one. The music gets so sinister in this place. That, for a game as charming as this one is, the music's almost unsettling. That was a mistake. Trying to get upstairs can be a little awkward, because sometimes you don't know if you go diagonal or just straight right. Or left. So one of the little gimmicks to this place is it has chimera wings, which I want a lot of these, because these alchemize with treasure chests in order to create shurikens. The other little quirk to them is anything that you throw them at will automatically be sent home to town. So they're useful for not having to trek back to a minecart every time. Need to be careful of these, call them wyverns. I don't remember their exact name. But they're basically tortoise dragons. So that slime is named the Crystal Chronicler. This game is chock full of ridiculous Square references. Later on, there's going to be a tank battle called Chrono Twigger. For instance. So these guys lock us out of the inner part of the mountain, which we need to get a way in there. Along the way, basically getting every slime that we can. We do skip one because it's locked behind this really awkward bungee cable minigame that's just hard to work around and can lose a ton of time for basically no good reason. I've tried finding setups for this and it just never works. Okay. Didn't consider that chucking the Chimera Wing. So, this statue right here, we would have to, like, make a totem pole of 3 specific items in order to get past it. But we don't have to do that. And now I get to explain what we call, affectionately, Gooply Skip. A user by the name of Gooply came into my chat a few weeks ago to tell me that he knew of a glitch in this game that nobody had discovered for well over a decade, because this game has been out for almost 15 years now. It's a skip that lets us get into the mountain, and it goes something like this. If you're wondering why this works, I don't know. The best way I can approximate it is a zip that just kind of accesses a loading zone that happens to be hidden in the wall for some reason. In any case, this lets us skip the one required tank fight of this area. And thus saves about 2 minutes, which is really comes in handy. So there's one slime here that I need to get. And I want to keep this wing here because it'll prove useful in the next screen. Dang it. If you actually kill these statues, which they only take 1 hit, but you gotta fully charge an attack to kill them. Saves a little bit of time, but you have to actually hit them. Alright, so on to the boss of the area. This is a jargon enemy from Dragon Quest VIII, and he calls himself Crackpot. Oh, sorry, Potbelly, that's his name. Crackpot's the name of the actual pot itself. So he's going to be doing alchemy, and this fight is entirely random. He can do one of 4 things. He can drop healing for me, drop a Chimera Wing, or drop rock bombs, or drop firewater here. Chimera Wings are bad, firewater is good, rock bombs are the optimal thing for him to drop. Oh god. So each rock bomb that he drops, he will take 2 damage if I hit him with it. 3 for Fire Water, 1 for Chimera Wings. Oh, I forgot about the Banana Peels. He hasn't done this one in a while. He'll slip on the Banana Peels and waste everyone's time. But it does hurt himself, at least. Alright, so I just need to hit him with Chimera Wings 2 more times and he'll die. Chimera Wings are one of the more time-consuming attacks, but at least I don't have to, like, chance whatever he does next, so I'll take it. So now I need to open some chests because I'll be upgrading my ammo again soon. Lampost's not in the route anymore. Itsy here. Then I need to get Pigummy here. And Curate Rollo. So now I can do some alchemy. So this is Flanpa. I was supposed to save him in a tank battle that I never did, so he kind of just appears here, even though he shouldn't. It's one of the unintended side effects of the Gooply skip. So I'm gonna upgrade my tank ammo again, or cancel because I can also do that, and then cancel it again just for kicks and giggles. Alright, we're gonna just do a little bit of ammo sorting here. The next thing that's gonna happen in the story is somebody is gonna pretend to be our sister and then threaten us and say to come alone. So you can read a donation or do any plugs if you like. It's just gonna be cutscenes for a little bit.
Not really any donations to read right now. But sure, I can plug the marathon incentives a little more. So coming next, the next incentive we have is for Chocobo Racing, the extra Final Fantasy VIII track that will be played. The incentive has a goal of $30. After that, the next incentive is for streamers, so we can have an extra run of the game on the Super Joe mode. It's also $30. And we have a bid war for Mario Kart 64 between the characters Peach, Toad, and Yoshi. We also have a bid war for Mute Crimson Plus for the colorblind option, so we can pick the game, the color that the game will play it with. So right now yellow is winning for this particular incentive with $50 lead, and I have to point out that yellow is a really bad color for that game, so I hope you guys change it for something else, preferably purple, which is the best.
Man's got taste.
All right.
So this is the Chrono Twigger. It's a pretty funny little tank. So, real quick, before I do anything, I now have a crew. My crew's main job is to do supplementary damage for the run. Your crew can do all sorts of things, from invading the enemy tank and destroying their stuff. Real quick, I did this in the last tank fight, but if you repeatedly press your face up against the side of this gate, you can sometimes get 2 hits, which is the fastest way to break it open. That's not good. These idiots fired their captain out of the cannon. So I gotta hightail it back to my tank as soon as I get a chance here. I'll take the Oaken Club. Oh hey, a sword. Broadswords here deal 28, so those are preferred to Oaken Clubs. Alright, so now that the skies are clear, the enemy will no longer fire ammo, except for that one fight for whatever stupid reason. In this case, I set my allies all to fire ammo. Blubba is really useful because he can hold 3 pieces of ammo, making him the most efficient crew member. And Gluparier is the worst because she moves really slowly. But yeah, you'll just see like 10 pieces of ammo flying out of the cannon right now. Getting really good shuriken luck here. So, between all the pieces of ammo that are left there, I don't have to worry about that guy taking out my engine at this point, because I can clear engine bearers much faster. Might have spoken too soon. I miscalculated my damage by like 1. Thankfully, the moles are really slow to attacking anything, so I can just let them be in my tank. In the meantime, I'll actually set my allies in advance to defensive options, so I don't have to do it later. You'll see me open the menu up before every tank fight, because I want to set 2 of my allies who have the option to passive options, so that they aren't just wasting ammo throwing it into the sky when there's ammo coming my way. And that was a really, really clean Chrono Twigger. Like, after that, how bad that last tank fight went, I really needed a fight that lucky. So the gimmick behind the area that I'm at, Backwoods, there's only 6 slimes here. And each of those slimes these are the slimes I get from the tank battle is a crew member. There's this trio of slime ninjas. And then at the very end is Supreme's sister. Oops, I cancel that because reasons. Sorry, it's like 4 AM. I'm not necessarily the most lucid right now. Now, the reason you'll see me grabbing Swatsy here, the slime with the goggles that I have on my head, he only can throw ammo, so I don't have a passive option for him. So the main thing I have him do instead is I will throw him into the enemy tank to distract the enemy AI, as well as to grab a piece of their ammo and then use it against them. Let's see if they have another iron ball. They do not. Alright, I'll just get... No, I want that. No! What the heck? You monster. Well, that just made this fight take an eternity because I have to wait for those to go away. It's very unfortunate. Don't usually count on enemies hitting you, so that's just unfortunate. Thankfully, since my HP is at 0, it can't possibly do more damage. I believe that is enough damage to kill. Especially with that shuriken. Alright, this fight was salvaged, but it still kind of sucked that I lost those iron balls. So, this one, there's a fork here. There are 3 fights like this, and I always remember the first fight where I have to take the fork in the road in the engine room. The first one is at the top, the next 2 are at the bottom. Wasn't reading my input. Okay. So this here is our friend Gushido. Gushido is cool. He ends up being the most useful of the Goonings, as they're called, which are the ninja slimes here, as far as crew members are concerned. Now this tank is called the Carrot Top. It has a horn that it can fire at me, and it's really bad when that happens. Thankfully, it basically never happens in runs. In casual playthroughs, they might deploy it, and it can really mess up your day. It basically jams your entire cannon room. Oops, I forgot to set my allies to defend. Unfortunate. See if I can't find another iron ball here. There we go. Oh my god, I can't get anything going here. Alright, so this is... Oh no, no you don't. I was gonna say, this is about as good as I can hope for ammo, but the 3 arrow here is actually better. So this set of ammo on top of my head will do approximately 140 damage, so it's really nice. Alright, so now to introduce the Slime Knights. I picked this up a while ago and I haven't really explained what it does, but think of it like a sword. Anytime you have a Slime Knight on your head, you can press the Y button to slash it like a regular old weapon. This proves extremely useful, given how often in this game you want to actually kill enemies, in order to either keep them from your tank or even just to break stuff. Alrighty. So that set right there will be enough to kill. And I really kind of see some of the power of the Slime Knight right now because I need to break some barriers. And at this point I only have one Slime Knight in my inventory, but I'll have up to 4 at one point in the game. Alright, so one last obstacle left to complete in the backwood. And this time it's going to be Slivel himself. You might think it's going to be this Platypunk here, but nope, this is a decoy. He says he wants revenge for Mount Krakatoa, but we never fought him there. I don't know what he's talking about. So Slivel tries to be a total tryhard, and he goes without a crew. The thing that I have to worry about with Slivel is he can 2-hit kill me as soon as he gets into my engine room. He breaks all the barriers, which there's normally 6. He breaks them all at once, and then he kills my tank. He also has some really good ammo. The ammo that he's just fired out of his cannon is enough to do 100 damage instantly. Ah! Unfortunately, another sword flew through. So now that my HP is at 0, I need to be extra careful. I'm gonna kill him here so that he doesn't distract my crew, because the enemy can do that. He also only has 4 hit points, so he's pretty easy to kill. But I need to keep him the hell away from my engine room, or else we're gonna be in some trouble. Okay, I think my crew has it at this point. Also, the thing to note about Slivel is he's a giant jerk who, he weighs 5 slime tons, which means that basically if he's on your head for longer than it takes to press the B button, which is about all you have, he just falls off, like, and it's really, really obnoxious. So this right here is an Orichalcum. It does 30 damage and is thus more useful than basically every piece of ammo that I have right now. Now we've saved our sister, and we're on the right course for 50 slimes. So, Bo laments that our parents have basically been nowhere to be found, and hearing a crying girl in need, the 3 Goonins decide to pop in and say that they will help us find our parents. And our parents are located at a place called Call My Bluff. Now, Call My Bluff is another interesting area. It doesn't have any tank fights in the story. In fact, there's only one area left in the game that really has like any real tank fights, and that's gonna be not gonna be for a little while. Now, you may be wondering why I'm picking up so much ammo. Like, why am I concerned with ammo when most combat strats just involve stealing enemy ammo? And the reason for this... Let's get the Slime Knight back. The reason for this is the final fight of the game, you cannot steal ammo. It's programmed to just straight launch into the enemy's cannon, so you have to depend on your ammo. And because that fight is the longest fight of the game, my ammo, I want it to be as good as possible. At least as far as what I can do in the span of a couple hours. Because in a casual playthrough, you'll spend a lot more time doing alchemy and finding recipes and doing all that jazz. So these crystals we cannot break. So our dad has the ability to break it because as a young slime, he learned the Master Blast. Unfortunately, he basically broke his back. I don't know how a slime has bones to have a back that can be broken, but yeah, it happens. So he wants us to learn the Master Blast, and the Goonins can teach it to us. Master Blast, no relation to Blaster Master. Although I imagine there's a reference there on purpose. So this well here does not unlock until we have 50 slimes. So from this point on, there's only 2 optional slimes that we will ever save in this run, and those 2 are saved because the piece of equipment that they give is so useful that it's just faster to save them. So we have to go through 3 trials, which basically function like Karate Kid style challenges. For this one, we have to get enough firewood to satisfy Sid. Oops, that was not the correct angle. That's one trial down. The second trial is the most annoying because it's very, it's not random per se, but it's not predictable. I have to hit every single one of these Gushidos here. And they like to be annoying and run around a lot. Okay, we got him. That was better than some of my attempts. The last trial is the trial of the soul. I just have to find this, I have to find Tommy here, or Tokyo Tom. And just like that, the trial's done. Na 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 na. So now we can break the crystals at Call My Bluff. So now that we know that there is a glitch of this game that can be used to skip something, we basically spent the next week trying to essentially find if there are any hidden loading zones in Call My Bluff that would allow us to skip the crystals. Because if we can skip the crystals, we skip the 50 slime requirement for beating the game, which would save, honestly, a pretty ludicrous amount of time. Like, somewhere in the realm of, I would say, at least half an hour. And if you're wondering, world record for this game is, as far as I could confirm, a 211, although the runner says he also has a 209 that I could not confirm because it was under a paid Nico account, and I don't have a subscription to Nico Video. So I couldn't really independently verify the run on my own terms, but I do trust that he is honest with that, so... Basically, world record is somewhere in the is either 209 or 211. And my personal best is a 224. I basically stopped running this game for a couple of years until recently, where I picked it back up again after a bunch of new comers had come up with a lot of new strats. For a long time, I was actually the only person who had run this game, and had to kind of route it from scratch, which was an interesting endeavor, being that this was sort of only my second ever speed game. So I was excited to see more people, take this game on and find new strats, and now actually an important glitch that saves a couple minutes. I made a little mistake there. Some of it is a little bit of rust. I'm grabbing things that are not useful. So this boss here, his name is Harvest Loon. Obvious reference there. He gives us a Slime Knight, which is really stupid because it's the only means to actually fight back against him. Periodically he's going to throw 3 sides, and I want to try and hit him with 2 of them. It is very difficult to do so. It is random if he spins his scythe in response. And I can hit the scythe back to save a little bit of time on each cycle. This fight is very random, so I don't like it. It is possible to get a double hit on this guy, but it's a little bit unreliable. It's like I hit the second one, but he's spinning the side, so it doesn't let me actually get the second hit on him. There, that's a double. So once he gets down to his final third of health, he's gonna summon these little Reapers, and I can't hit them back at him, and they will hit me, so... Dang it, that was no double. And that gets the kill. I don't think I'll save any time on this split, but... this run has been able to keep up pace, which is decent. Anyways, Harvest Loon drops a Health Scythe, which does 40 damage. And it's unique in that I can actually throw it through the top cannon, and it will fly over the enemy enemy tank. So this guy's name is Francisco, another reference to Dragon Quest VIII. Difference is this game, he has a much nicer fate than what happens to him in Dragon Quest VIII. Let's just put it that way. So every kind of leader figure of the town that's left decides that we need to kind of shape in this town up, because it's pretty dilapidated. So this right here, this cutscene lasts about 70-80 seconds, I think. And I can actually take my hand off the DS because there's no text. It's a nice break about halfway through the run. So Cassio, if you want to do any plugs, etc., go right ahead.
One more time, I want to remind everybody that this marathon is to help Beko and Ohom from Japan to get to AGDQ, and Prizzy from Germany also to get to AGDQ. And the three of them are going to play on the Mega Man Force X Relay. That's gonna happen next year. And we have some incentives that are coming up real soon. One of them is the Chocobo Racing one, to play an extra Final Fantasy VIII track. And it's only $30 to unlock it. So if you want to see that, make sure to donate.
Thank you, Cassio. So, the next part of the run, we have to go to a place called Lucifer's Necropolis. It's very ominous sounding, and yet the music there is really upbeat regardless. Because this game... There's nothing evil in this game, it's just super cute the entire way through. So Tokyo Tom realizes what the heck they're trying to do at Lucifer's Necropolis, which is revive the Dark something. And Tom's like, the Dark One? Yes, the Dark One. And then everyone just gets scared. So we need to prevent them from basically unearthing the means to revive a dark being. So, Necropolis has one dank battle in it. Its main gimmick is at the start. There's sort of this split puzzle here. I'll finally introduce statue puzzles proper. So I have to sort of stack a totem of specific items in a correct way. Only in this case, they're separating the rock bombs, which I need. So, before I proceed, I need both an imp and a platypunk. There will be a couple more of those later. But getting them now is better. I also need a mimic, which is a treasure chest that is actually a monster, which, if you're familiar with Dragon Quest, Dark Souls, very different things. If you're familiar with Dark Souls mimics, they're not quite that bad. Alright, so this is the correct sequence. So the statue for this puzzle here is destroyed, and we're supposed to kind of figure out what exactly we need. Thankfully, I basically have it already memorized. As well as the order that they need to be in. Oops. Bit of semi-precise movement and jumps there. I made a little mistake here, not stretching out my blast, so I'll have to kind of just get crushed here. No, do not return to town. That is a minute plus time loss. I've had somebody ask me before, does movement in this game get kind of annoying because it relies on well-timed kind of stretches, which basically amounts to pressing the A button, holding down a direction, and then releasing the A button over and over and over again. And I actually personally quite enjoy the movement of this game because it leaves a lot of room for optimization and skill expression, even if it doesn't necessarily manifest in the most visually impressive way. This part right here teaches about hover jumps if you don't know about them. Your slime can hover a little bit. Kind of, to an extent, yeah. But it's a little bit more drawn out and methodical, I guess, than slide chaining is. So the imp started to attack here. It doesn't matter if he's attacking or not, the statue will work. Alright, on to the one tank battle of this area. There's that familiar music. That was a mistake. Now, I do have the Goonies as crew members, but or options for crew members, but I don't exactly need them just yet. That's mainly because it's a lot of detour to go there for just one fight. Alright, so Slyball has given me a Metal King Sword and 2 Bastard Swords. That is what they're called. It's not me cursing. And these will do 240 damage upon impact. Sorry, I did my math wrong. 200 damage. Alright. Thankfully, Slivel moves fairly slow in his third and fourth fights. Or sorry, in his second and third fights. In his fourth fight, he'll start to move pretty quickly, which is bad because I don't want him getting into my engine room. So this right here... Oh, Slime Knight. This right here is enough damage to guarantee a kill. So I'm gonna leave Blub out here to... Actually, no, I'm not, because I don't want Slivel anywhere near my engine. I'm gonna just kill him. Alright, so that's level 3. We skipped level 1, but we'll have to fight him one last time. And each time you fight him, the strat's basically the same. In part manipulating him because he does not have a crew. Like, he's actually significantly easier because he does not have a crew. As a kid, when I played this game casually, I actually figured out that probably the most efficient way to deal with him if you're trying to play casually without, like, doing the danger strats that I'm doing is just go into his tank and distract him. Because he will never fire at you if you're distracting him. Alright, so on to the second to last overworld boss. This is Lickety Spit. It's a gigantic cactus that tries to eat me. So the way you deal with this guy is pretty simple. You just throw cacti at him. For each one that he eats, he takes 1 point of damage. If he eats me, then he takes no damage. I basically mispositioned, but thankfully 2 of them put themselves correctly in position to deal damage to him, which is good. I have been able to get a 4 hit on him, but that's usually pretty rare. And that'll kill. It's a very good lickety spit fight. So I'll actually be saving time here, which is good. I'm still technically able to PB, which is good. Alright, we're done with Necropolis, and we'll be going on to the final area, which is where basically the final, like, third of the game will take place. We're gonna get a little bit of a view into who our main villain of the game is. This is Don Clauleone, a reference to The Godfather. Or just called the Don in the Japanese version. And he has with him the last member of the royal family, which is the princess. Her name is Gluttonella. She's kind of a bottomless vacuum. So I'm going to replace Gluperia with Yusashi and Swansea with Yushido. This gets rid of my two less useful crew members. I actually just made a mistake. I'll deal with it, actually. It's not too big a deal. It's less time consuming than to just deal with it. I meant to upgrade my ammo, but instead, I'll just not, because there's going to be 3 tank fights on this day, and I can generally deal with just stealing ammo for those 3. I'm gonna upgrade it one last time because I actually split the final dungeon into 2 days, even though it can be completed in one. This right here is the only optional slime that I save after. And the reason I save him is because he gives me the single best piece of equipment that I'll get for the entire run. Also, I now have a golem. And golems are badass. Now, the game wants me to get into a golem fight here, but that's slow, so we're not going to do it. I'm sure ye of the Mega Man speedrunning variety are pretty familiar with golems. Ow. Ow. Get me away from this guy. He's mean. Alright, so these are, knights. And the thing about knights is they only take 2 hits to kill, but you have to do a fully charged blast to kill them. And I want to kill every single one that I can, because they drop broadswords, and the bags they drop can also give me Metal King swords, which are extremely useful. Oops, So, worst case scenario, I get a piece of ammo that gives me that does 28 damage. Best case scenario, I get a piece of ammo that does 80 damage. Both of these are good situations to be in. Unfortunately, these will only be useful for 2 tank fights, because I can't just immediately put them in my tank. Anyways, this is the Argonaut, the single worst fight in the game. Okay. Making sure I have my allies set to the correct things.
Just a little message that I wanna give you guys. I'm leaving for today, and now Hoglive is gonna take my place in the hosting. So thank you for having me, guys. It was fun. See you later in the Naruto.
Thanks, Cassio. Have a good one, my man.
To really quickly touch up on this fight. This fight's annoying because the enemy here has a bunch of living statues, but more so than that, his tank? His tank actually has the ability to intercept ammo by dropping the axe there. And that deploys every now and then and just kills all of my ammo that is flying. And again, living statues I still have bombshells, dang. My ammo really could use an upgrade. I need to deal with that guy now. Bushido happened to bring me a really useful piece of ammo. I did not mean to throw him out of the cannon, but whatever. Blubba, I need you doing things. Also, sorry if I didn't say hello. Hello, Oglib.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Run's going okay.
It's good to hear.
This game is so ridiculously unpredictable that, like, you kind of take what you get, honestly, anytime you do a marathon run of it. I've done 3. One was an 100 slime run that was extremely rusty, so I kind of almost don't count that one. Like, on the one hand, it's a very volatile game, but on the other hand, it means every run has its own little unique thing about it. I need one more shuriken somewhere. I know I had one more down here. There we go. Alright, so I'll wait till that shuriken hits and that'll kill. So this fight sucks. Like, my last PB I lost 2 minutes on this fight because of just some really bad luck with axe swings. Well, more like the ammo I was depending on. I depended on my ally to give me ammo, and he didn't, so... So, enemies are in my tank engine room, and I know that they're pretty slow to kill my engines, so I don't have to worry about them too much as long as I kind of just pace myself correctly. So I cut it close on that fight, but I knew that I was basically guaranteed to not die there. The Jinxes here are kind of useless, but the Knights here, again, are really useful. I'll save you. I'm feeling nice today. We'll save an extra slime. So before I can proceed, I need to kill one of these killing machines, because, I don't know, reasons. The game feels like I haven't done enough overworld fights, and the overworld fights in this game are really simple, because most of the time, instead of actually killing something, you just kind of resort to throwing it back to your town. So this is a killing machine. It is the bulkiest enemy in the game. It has 6 hearts. So I kill it and then wait for it to die and just kind of optimize by heading over this way. So, the next couple of fights here don't have as good of ammo to throw. Well, they don't have as good of ammo that they're gonna throw at me, but oh god, that's actually really bad. I kind of don't want that killing machine there. I need to get in and skedaddle. Take that. So the enemies were stupid and fired their crewmate out of the cannon, which is normally like not such a bad thing. But in this case, it means that they can get to my engine room much faster, and I need to be very cautious of that. Killing machines especially are pretty potent at killing engine barriers. Kusashi, you jerk. Killing machine, you other jerk. I can't see because the screen is so small. Okay. Alright, I'll leave them to duke it out, and then I'll fire some ammo. So this is actually pretty favorable luck right now. Getting the Slime Knight here. And getting hit there is not favorable luck. So I'm gonna throw this right there because I'm gonna grab it later. Alright, this is a really good set of ammo right here. In fact, I actually don't need the level 3 iron ball there, so I'll grab the Slime Knight. And I'll let these guys just kind of be distracted. Oh no. They killed my Slime Knight. Mechanic I haven't actually discussed in this game is Slime Knights can die. They have 3 hit points. So if you hit them 3 times, including when you go to pick one up, by the way, they die. Which is no bueno. Rest in peace. There's plenty more where that came from. Yeah, the pretty weak ammo in my inventory is going to cost me some time here, since I forgot to actually upgrade it earlier. So, I'm gonna make sure I get Curator, Roboglop, Swellington, and Early Burly. So all these slimes give me really useful pieces of ammo. So right here, I just have to break a ton of these machines. It's pretty time-consuming. If you want to do a quick donation or plug, go right ahead, Glib.
Alright, do just want to mention we have an incentive coming up for Final Fantasy VIII, the Chocobo Racing. We got an additional track that can be played for the low price of $30. There's about 2 hours left on that a donation incentive, and we've got 0 out of the $30 raised. So get your money in now if you want to see that extra track. We've also got a streamers incentive coming up for an extra run in Super Joe mode. And that's also at 0 out of $30. But we got about 3 hours on that. So a couple of really cool donation incentives coming up really soon. So make sure you get your money in if you want to see those.
Alright, time for the last of the boss fights that we're going to be doing on this day. This is Hollow Kitty. And his tank, which is Demolition Man.
Those are two very different references in the same fight.
I know. There's one in here, it's called... There's a tank in this game. One of the earlier ones I fought, and its name is DQ Swords, and it says the revolution is coming, wee. Like, this game has so much whimsy and charm to it, I love it. Alright, so these are Meadow King shields. They're really good defensively, but... Oops, I don't have you ammo strike. They're not very good. They're not very good for offense. The way shields work in this game is they don't do any damage when they make contact, but they do repel things. The most useful is arguably the mirror shield, which or not repel, but like just kind of soaks up. The most useful is probably the mirror shield, which only absorbs one, or only takes one piece of ammo, but it actually reflects it backwards, which is really nice. Alright, I need to hightail it back to my engine room. Always gotta keep an eye out on that bottom screen. Okay, this is bad. This killing machine got through all of my shields. That's not good. Just means I'm gonna have to play it extra safe to make sure absolutely nobody gets into my engine room. Unfortunately, this guy does not work the same way as other knights. He actually takes 4 hits to kill. Thankfully, I have this Metal King sword here to put to use. I just need one more strong piece of ammo. Yeah, this'll do. Actually, that iron ball is strong enough to kill on its own, so I don't need to worry about it. So I'm gonna focus on just being defensive and keeping these guys away from my cannon, because my crew will do the rest. These late game fights get a little rough because you kind of have to just estimate about how effective your crew really can be. We never have a particularly good indication of it. Alright. So, on my current pace, this should be a 227, it looks like. The big scary thing with this run is the final boss. The final boss, if he ever gets into my engine room, will immediately kill my engine. So I can never let him into the engine room at all. I lost a minute on that split, but I believe most of that has to do with a bit of a safe Argonaut and not having upgraded my ammo. Ah, it's only a steel broadsword. Would have preferred a metal king sword. Alright. So I'll finally have a decent arsenal of weapons for once. That I will refuse to put in because it's very easy to mash cancel. Okay. So my priorities right now are to get rid of everything that is basically useless. I want 3 of these. Actually, a 4th one is good, and that is about the best set of ammo that I can get. Yeah. Yeah, Metal King swords, they're not good, they're not quite good enough for, like, any sort of multiplayer game, but they're almost there. They're, like, really solid for story. This game does actually have a multiplayer tank battle mode, which is one of my favorite modes in the game. Me and my friends growing up played this game quite a lot. One of my friends was the one who got me into this game, and I got another friend into it. Not really much of like a tourney scene or anything like that, just kind of like a group of friends with their own little house rules for a silly little DS party game. So I have to kill these 10 killing machines here, which can be really obnoxious. Much of this just amounts to, like, blasting and chucking randomly. It's kind of a terrible fight. The thing that really sucks too is they drop bags sometimes, and they're not even useful because, like, at this point I've already finalized every tank upgrade that I'm gonna do. Alright, this should be the last one. Alright, on to one last tank battle before the final boss. We see a familiar face. And just like every other survival fight, we're just gonna get into his engine room and just screw with him. So one of the nice little benefits I actually haven't touched on with Gushido is he actually distracts enemies very well. So he's doubly useful. That's an unfortunate load. That's only going to do 81 damage. Okay, Slival, do you want me dead? Okay, there we go. Oh god. I want this meteorite really badly. Meteorite's one of the best pieces of ammo in the game. Oh god. That is just unlucky. That is super unlucky. Ah, crap. So he fired a Metal King's shield the second my HP ran out, so I have to like wait it out basically. Ooh, hey, a Kabumamite. Kabumamites are useful in that when they make contact, they do a ton of damage. I actually should have waited to fire that arrow, because that arrow fires very fast. But Kabumamites do about 100 damage, which is really useful. The only problem is they take out any oncoming ammo. Okay. So I gotta catch up to a freaking bounce. Are you serious? Oh no. Please don't kill me. Okay. Alright, so that'll kill. There's the lightning rod, just when I needed it. Alrighty. So that's the final, as intended, I guess, tank battle. There's gonna be one last tank battle, and that actually happens to be the final fight of the game. I think I lost a little bit of time on that Slival fight, but we should still get sub 230. Yeah, now we have access to the final, boss, basically. There's going to be two phases of the boss fight, the first of which is an overworld fight, and the second of which is going to be the final tank fight, which is where the final hit on the engine is where time will be called. Because, again, this category does not have credits. So after the princess basically eats all of the food in the fortress, she goes running off looking for something else to eat. And the Blob Father, being understandably ticked off as he is, kind of takes out his rage on us. Also, this is a kid's game, and he's smoking a cigar. Classy, swear. So the first part of this fight is really simple. He's gonna start doing an attack after the saw blades, where he summons a bunch of little guys. There we go. I don't like to see this attack because it kind of slows me down, so I just kind of repeatedly try and blast and hope that I don't get slowed by the little guys. Once I get him down to half health, he's gonna do something a little weird. So this is a Dragon Quest game, so he turns himself into a dragon. So if you're wondering why it's called Dragon Quest, that's why. Not really, but still. Alright, one more hit. And that's phase 1 of the final boss done. It's pretty easy if you know what to do. But now we're in for an actually decently tough fight. So get your bless RNGs in chat, because we're going to need it, especially if we want to get sub 230. I plan to use some marathon safe strats here, because I'm not on PB pace, and if I die, it's a loss of like 7 minutes. Basically, she finds the flute that they had dug at the necropolis and blows it right in the Blob Father's face. Yes, they do actually call him that. And that summons Flucifer, aka the Dark One, who summons his gigantic space tank that just blows the fortress to smithereens. And with it goes our tank. With all our heroes' hopes seemingly dashed, what could possibly save the day? How about a gigantic Deus Ex Machina, which is conveniently both Slival and my tank, well, Supreme's tank, fell into the Mount Krakatoa, which is a giant alchemy pot. And this combined our two tanks into one to create the Gottslimen tank, or the Godslimen tank. So get ready for, like, 9 minutes of the Dragon Quest Overture on loop. Because, the tank's about to get super, pimped out. So it's just me and Slival. So I use this little flashy animation he does here to keep him on my head, and the next thing I want to do is I need to seek out any lightning rods and any slime knights that I can. The other thing I need to do is I chuck as much ammo as I can into my engine room so I have it readily accessible. Because this guy's ammo output is just absolutely ludicrous. So there's no point in trying to fight with it. Like, even though my tank HP is buffed up from 100 to 1000, it's just not worth it to try and fight back until my my HP is empty and the skies are clear. So now he's gonna try and invade me, and I absolutely cannot let him into my tank. Unfortunately, he has these really annoying invulnerability periods every time I hit him, and he takes 8 hits to despawn. He doesn't die, it's just despawns him, basically. So I kind of have to depend on Slivel, because he is absolutely freaking useless at trying to stop Lucifer from getting into my tank. Minor optimization. The fastest way to get something onto your head is to attack it with a Slime Knight. Alright, that Kaboomite was worth it to wait a little bit. Thankfully, this guy will be distracted by me, so he won't head towards my engine room. I want to fight him outside of my tank as much as I can, but if he's in the entrance, it's not too bad. I really want to keep him away from Slivel. That is the #1 most important thing, because if Slivel gets near him, instead of firing ammo, Slivel will try and fight back, which is not good news for me. Where's a lightning rod when I need it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Ideally, the lightning rod would not be thrown, but I can deal with that. Alright. So here you'll see the power of having multiple Slime Knights. They can actually desync and just get this guy like a buzzsaw. Okay, that's bad. Alright, so now it's going to charge up his laser, which is bad for me. Because while the laser charging, any ammo that hits him does not do damage. Alright, I want to get rid of this Slime Knight. Whether I use it or not... okay, it still has a hit point left. I appreciate the Slime Knight emotes. Those are really... Those are cheering me up right now. Oh god, I did not want to fire Slivel there. Oh wow, he's almost dead. That's actually really good. So 2 more pieces of ammo and I should have him down. This is a really good fight, all things considered. No Slime Knights. Alright, I'll just go for it. So I'll kill him once, just to make sure that he doesn't sneak by me. Ow. So... Alright. So get ready on time, because time is the moment that I actually, Time is the moment that I actually break his engine. And as soon as I enter his tank, I can deal with him. No, he'll stop trying to gun for me, and instead we'll start trying to, chase it, or he'll stop trying to go after my tank and start chasing after me. Ow. I do need to be careful here because he can kill me if I'm not careful. And he's just caught in a loop of that that attack that I really don't want him using over and over again. Alright, get ready on time. It's once I clear these last two barriers. Thanks, Slivel. And time. On my end it was a 2:27.53, which was pretty good. Pretty good run.
Nice run.
Alright. I apologize, a bit more low energy just given how late it is. But thanks to the brave efforts of Slivel and Supreme, the Dark One was laid to rest. The mighty Gotschleimen again became the two tanks from which it had formed, and Supreme and his companions were reunited. Shoutouts to Supreme. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to those of you who donated during the run. It was a lot of fun to do this one. This game was kind of my speedrunning baby at one point, even though it's since been had more work put into it by other people. But excited to get to show it off. I haven't run this game in quite some time, so. So this cutscene here reveals that the entire reason he was seeking after the warrior flute was he wanted to impress some cute young woman that he was attracted to. That's the entire reason the Mafia was basically trying to ruin the world. Alright, so that's 61 slime saved. There's always a cute young girl. It is a great motivator, I guess, in fiction. Alright, so credits don't play unless you get 100 slimes, but we've effectively finished the game, so I'd like to give a quick shout out to Mr. C, who was in here earlier, who's helped out a lot with this game, Karul, who found a couple strats, European Runner, which is interesting given that this game, both of those two actually are European runners, which is interesting given this game never was released in Europe. Shout out to Gooply for finding a glitch and not telling us for not telling anyone for like a decade, and then it proving to be useful in the speedrun. Chamegane, the Japanese runner who found a lot of strats that we didn't even know about until we kind of saw them all at once in a marathon run for RTA in Japan Online. And the Dragon Quest speedrunning community, which there's too many names to name.